Hey, Nolan, it's really good to see you. Today we are talking about the new retirement account contribution limits for 2023. The IRS just announced it will boost the max contribution limits to 401ks by $2,000 next year, bringing the total to $22,500. That's the largest increase on record. What's behind the significant jump?
Yeah, usually, Erin, whenever we see these jumps in contribution limits, 401ks, IRAs, things like that, a lot of times the government is just trying to give you, with your increased cost of living and increased wages with increased inflation, the opportunity to keep up with your retirement savings.
Mhm.
So largely in part, this is due to just abnormally high inflation that we've been experiencing. That does not usually result in them then reducing that on the other end once inflation does go back down. Typically, this is just a new floor that is set. So not something that we see very often, or especially an increase of this size. So it is an opportunity potentially to put a little bit more money away in some employer-sponsored plans.
I'm glad you brought that up because I want to show you this graphic, which gives me a lot of anxiety. As we take a look at the average balance of 401ks broken down by generation, how important is it that we be maxing out those contributions?
Yeah, I think it's incredibly important to max out your contributions if you are able to. In a 401k, especially, a lot of times people get matches in your 401k. If you do not take full advantage of your match in your 401k, it's essentially a pay cut. It's free money that they are putting into your retirement account for you. Now, this savings rate to me basically just says that, as people are decreasing inflation, retirement savings are the primary piece of that. I mean, if we're saving 10, 15% of our overall money, it's not usually much more than that is going into our regular checking or savings. So paying attention to this, how it's taxed, potentially paying taxes now while they're relatively low, and maybe we can talk a little bit about that too,
Mhm.
is something worth considering too, as they do allow you to put more money into these plans.
hmm Yeah, we will talk about that in a second, but I have one more quick question. Contribution limits for IRAs also set to increase to $6,500 from $6,000. That's a limit that hasn't changed since 2019. So as we take a look at all those new numbers, is there anything that stands out to you here?
Yeah, the IRA and Roth IRA contribution increases. I mean, that's a big one that stands out. But the other one that I'd like to mention is towards the bottom for the HSA contributions. An HSA, or health savings account, is a very tax advantageous account for you to put money away for health expenses. And this has become even more important over the past year or two as people are contemplating early retirement. HSA money that you're able to put away can help offset some healthcare premiums too. So that to me is pretty notable. Being able to put away a couple $100 or 450 extra dollars for the entire family into an HSA is a very good thing.
Okay. So now back to what you were talking about, one of your most favorite topics, tax planning. A lot of us do contribute to a 401k, but they're also known as a retirement tax bomb. So in what instances should we be considering contributing to those retirement accounts that are where you're paying your taxes now?
Sure. And what you're referring to is just the Roth accounts and the post-tax accounts, which most people at this point, I think, have available in their 401ks, and it's at least worth looking at. But as we're going through these higher than normal inflationary periods, interest rates continue to go up. There's a lot of different, monetary policy that's coming into play right now. It's worth considering maybe biting the bullet and paying a little bit more in tax right now before taxes end up going up. They are scheduled to increase in 2025 anyway. This is just resetting the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act from 2017. So this resets our tax rates unless the current administration does anything about it. And I think based on the stimulus money that's been issued and all the other things that our economy is going through, we can expect taxes probably to go up over time, not down. So it's something worth looking at. Of course, every situation is a little bit different, and it does matter your preference as well on when you would like to pay taxes on the smaller balance or the much larger balance down the road.
Right. Certainly no cookie cutter answer here. So if somebody would like to speak with you to determine, where they should be putting their money or whether or not they should be considering any Roth accounts, what's the best way to reach you?
Sure. So they can go to our website or call us at 616-301-2581. We're option one on the wealth side of our business, and we're happy to help with anything that anybody might need.
All right, Nolan, thank you.
Thanks, Erin.